ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now live and direct. We are now live with Bone World _ Soul, and I am your host, Gaddis TV, and we're live. Let's get to it.
Calendar is just now,
What's going on,
also
y'all?
doing that.
Yeah,
Hey,
so we're
what's up?
live. Just to let everyone know, we're basically have Bone Underworld Soul on here. If you don't know, I guess y'all can let us know about yourselves. What kind of got y'all involved in crypto, and then what got y'all started on the project y'all have, if you don't mind.
Hey, yeah, I'm Alexei from Bone World. I'm one of the artists. Maria is the other one, but she's a bit, shy, and so she's mostly behind the scenes. But yeah, I'm guessing people have seen the skeletons by now, the skellies. We're building, we're going from the beginning, and we're building up to have FBX files, like 3D files, so you can use them in games or integrate. So you can use them in like any basically metaverse platform that supports FBX files, like VR chat, or load them in. Like right now, we're working on loading them into GDA. So people can use them on custom servers. We're working with Rumbleverse, so you can run around and fight other NFT projects in it. And they were talking about having like a more like towards like a Fortnite style place where you can build your own world, etc. So that sounds pretty cool. I'm not sure if I just spoiled their secret, but anyway.
That's okay. No one's watching.
You know.
Yeah. Nah, but we're talking to Plush Fight, which is like a Mortal Kombat game as well. So like not a Mortal, but like a fighting game, like a 2D, not it's 3D, but it's like side-scrolling fighting game. So we're talking with game developers, like people who like making games, and we're trying to implement our PFPs in there. We're also got like this whole storyline thing going now, where we're heading towards Bone Island, and currently there's some native inhabitants, the locals, who are kind of refusing to leave because we want to build a resort there. But so it's kind of the whole Avatar story where
Yeah.
we're like peaceful. We're like presenting this company, which is like this kind of, we're building a resort and it's all going to be fun and dandy. But, and some of the locals live on land, which is for some reason being contaminated. So they have to be temporarily, evacuated. And yeah, so kind of going that way. And eventually it'll be like this big island, I think, which we hope to integrate with other projects. So we're thinking of having like different areas of it for like a surf shack or a tiki bar, and have them integrated with, for example, Thugbirds or Piggies or whatever. So you have like a Thugbird surf shack, and we could release a collection of skellies which are like working in the surf shack, and
yes,
or we could have like a fast food joint with the Degen Apes service guys, and we have a collection of skellies which are all like working, flipping burgers and stuff. So
that's amazing.
Kind of a fun way to do collabs with other projects.
Yeah, I love it.
And right now also we're thinking about making the island, because like at first we were going to make some graveyards, kind of like Solstead style, but graveyards. But now we have this island and people seem to be really into it. So we're thinking, well, maybe we should just make like a whole Pacific Rim. Everybody gets an island.
That's sick.
Is that the island on? I don't know if you can see the screen, depending on if you're on the like the main one on there.
Oh yeah, that's our main island. Yeah, with the skull,
with the bone Kano.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking there's so much stuff you can do. Like, you can also have them randomly or combined. So one of them has like 2 volcanoes, one of them has like a bunch of boats, the other one has like planes crashing, maybe like a dinosaur or Loch Ness monster. There's just like so much stuff we can stick together with the tropical islands.
So, I love it. This project is so fun. I've been around since Mint. Sass got me into it when it was
nice.
like a 3 soul mint, and
Thanks,
I minted
Sass.
yeah, I love Sass. He's sassy. I've minted like 10, and then like I got airdropped another 10, and I was like, this is sick. I love this. And ever since Mint, you guys have like done a really good job of just listening to your community, and not even that, just like coming out like every day in the announcements and going, yo, this is what's going on. And it's constant updates, and I love it. Every single time I go back to your announcements page, I have something to read. So keep up the good work on that end. It's really nice.
Thanks. Yeah, we're trying. And also I think the big thing that I was going to say about like the project is that I want like basically every new collection, everything we release will be going to our holders. And so basically they'll be like acting like our distributors. So basically they'll be making all the money. We'll just, we'll you basically, if you want to mint something, you'll have to be holding skellies, and then there might be like a small fee for it to cover, like, because right now I found out that airdropping stuff can be very expensive.
Yeah, you said it was like 42 soul or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. We're still talking to some people. Some people say it can be like 5 sol, and the Wojaks, they minted 4.2 billion of them
Fucking
apparently. So I'm guessing they found a way to do it cheaper. So that's why we're kind of delaying the drop right now, because I want to see if we can do this,
a little more economically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not sure if it matters, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things. But since I've been a starving artist for most of my life, the instinct is still there not to just like throw 8K into something if we can throw 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so basically my goal is to make these guys always like increase in value, like the OG collections, because I've been looking at some other projects. Like I finally have a bit of free time in my life, and I started looking again at other projects, and I just noticed that they don't really kind of like I wanted to buy Soul Cities, which look amazing. But I saw that they were going, they were good. You have to upgrade your cities and you have to actually participate in the game. So, and I was asked, like, what if I just buy one and leave it for like 5 years? Will it go up in price?
Yeah.
And they don't have that structure there, because they're like, you got to upgrade them and they have different resources and stuff. And I'm like, So kind of with Skellies, I really want this to be something that if you don't really care too much, if you just like the way they look, you can buy them. And then in like 5 years, they'll be worth way more. That's kind of the thing I'm really kind of
That's kind of my
for.
plan. Just sit on them. I like the art. They're my backup in case I sell my bird for like $8 million.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. What I mean, I guess I don't know, David, if you're I guess the part of it you just said managing it, because I know some people know about it. Me, I mean, money knows. I'm the new a person who sold everything like that. So you're already minted. When did y'all mint overall? And I'm assuming with like the 3D rendering stuff like that, how long does it take, like average, I guess, like for the project to come alive? You know what I mean? Like how long did it take behind the scenes before y'all went live and minted?
Well, I think like 1.5 to 2 months, but honestly, it's like there's different aspects of like I had a partner who was the guy who helped me launch this, and he's the guy who offered to do all this, because I'm just an artist, and he had the dev team and the marketing and whatnot. And without him, like he pushed us like to do it faster than we probably would have liked. But the thing is, if he wasn't pushing us, we'd just spend like a year making traits and whatnot, and it would just be infinite, because we're like, oh, we had this idea, I'm going to add this, and like, oh, now we're going to have levels of this stuff, and it's just so the time is more like I don't think there's like a real limit on. Like obviously it takes longer than doing 2D art, but rendering stuff nowadays is pretty fast. You don't really need even that huge hardware. Like it's figuring out how everything fits together and tweaking stuff, because it's a lot harder to obviously make them, fit together because we did PNG layers, and I tried to figure out how to do shadows which are exported, but in the end I just hand painted them for each trait. Because it was just it was constantly like sending like other shadows, and there was like overlays, and it adjusted the color, and I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna paintbrush and do that. Yeah,
the art's really good. It's unique. It's like one of one. Like every skelly looks rare. It's really nice. I get a breath of fresh air from all this 2D stuff.
Yeah, and I really went back to like after the first pass, I really went back to like the ones that were not rare, like the regular traits, and really try to make them like pop and look really nice. Because like I realized that a lot of the projects, like they just they're purely based on rarity, because the art is very kind of monotonous, so people only care about the rarity. But I wanted people to, even the ones who got like non-rare ones, to still be like, oh, this looks cool.
Yeah.
It's.
I like the balance you have in that, because like you'll have the halo, for example, which looks really cool, and it's just an uncommon, but it gives really good aesthetic to even the lower ranks.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
How long have you I guess been an artist for? And for people who don't know, I guess was it always in like the 3D rendering, or I guess where did you start? Like, I guess.
Yeah, I've been an artist for like 15 years. I don't know, fucking very long time ago. It's almost embarrassing. But yeah, I feel like everyone now is like, oh, I'm 19, I'm a new artist, or I'm 14, making like, these NFT. I'm like, yeah, I'm old. I've been doing this for a very long time. Just, yeah, no, I started actually with 3D. I started making textures for games. Like because back in the days, it was pretty easy to dig into a game because you just had a folder with all the texture files and all the 3D files. They weren't really trying to hide it from you. So you could just open up in Paint and start, repainting them or drawing penises on them or whatever it is, So I started with that, and then I started making my own models, and basically, yeah. And then I realized that I didn't have to put them into games. Like I remember I was trying to get like various models into Quake 3, and there was this game called Total Annihilation. It was like it was like a top-down strategy game, like an RTS, but it had like 3D units in it. I think I was like one of the first ones with actual 3D units. So that was like my first real kind of. I found a tutorial in a magazine on how to put the models into there. It was like on paper. I had to like read stuff. It sounds so bizarre now. Like it was just, like before YouTube and stuff, it's just finding information was nuts. Yeah, like I had to learn basically from like, there was like software that I had, and I didn't have any learning material for that software because this was just the software that I found on a CD somewhere because it was like packed with other stuff or in a magazine. And then I had to find learning material, and it'd be like in a library or a magazine, and it wasn't really for the software that I had, but I just kind of had to figure out how to make it work,
Man.
Yeah, it was a very different time. But yeah, and then basically I started posting stuff on DeviantArt, which is like a Instagram of back in the day. And then someone once offered me, like I was like 16, I think, and some designer said like, hey, I need like this MP3 player made in 3D, like he drew it in 2D. And I'm like, okay, and I made it for him, and then like he sent me money through PayPal, and I was just like, no way. And then I moved it to my bank, and then I took it out of an ATM, and I'm like, holy shit, I made this on the internet, Like it was just like,
thanks, internet.
yeah, it was just such a kind of mind-blowing thing back then. I mean, it's still kind of mind-blowing sometimes when you think about it. Like when people send you money, like, a client in America sends money to my Australian bank account, and I'm like in Hungary or Poland, and I take it out of the ATM there, and like this is just like, can you imagine like the amount of trust that goes into, making that work? Yeah. Like just like from, just like when you pay with a card in some like, foreign country, and the guy there gives you a sandwich, and he's like, that's fine, I trust that this thing like beeped and I'll get the money,
That is the crazy thing with like even like the like crypto, I guess, just seeing, just because kind of like how like we're literally, I'm pretty sure we're all in different literally places of literally the world on that one. So that's the cool part, and kind of hard part sometimes is trying to line up people to get on, because it could be 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning where you're at, or other people are at, and it's like, all right, how do we make it, I guess, easy for everyone? Because I mean, everyone knows when you're in the crypto world, even if you're not buying, selling, everything like that, it feels like you're up 24/7. So I can only imagine with people that like you and everyone else who's programming or just creating things in that nature.
This seems like the optimal hour for the globe. I think it's like 9 a.m. in Sydney or something. It's like midday in America, and it's like midnight here. So we're kind of, it's
that sweet spot.
Yeah, for the globe, I think. I'm sure there's some countries getting fucked over by this, but it's
there's always one loser.
Yeah, somewhere.
What made you came up with the name Bone World on that one, or like the essence behind the skulls and everything?
Well, yeah, it was basically like, all the projects were cute animals and stuff. So we were trying to, my partner said, I wanted to make cats. Actually, I want to make walruses. That was actually my first plan.
Okay.
Oh,
For some
man.
reason, I haven't seen any walruses, and I was like, we should make walruses.
Hell yeah.
But he's like, there's animals everywhere. It's like saturated. We got to make something else. And, and Maria really liked Nightmare Before Christmas, and we figured skeletons, and then, we made them cute. And also, like, there was some talk about also like the idea of death. Like, I kind of really like just the general concept that we're all going to die. Like, it's something that most people don't think about it, but that's like the only guaranteed thing that we have in this world. That's like 100% chance. And there's this really cool chart. It's like this kind of like a bunch of little boxes, and it has like 90 years of your life in weeks, and every little box is a week, and you have like 52 boxes for each year. And like, Yeah, and you mark it out, and it's kind of this like it's scary at first, like almost
That is
depressing.
scary. Oh my god, fuck.
But then you see it, and you're like, you're just like blocking it every week, and you're like, it just puts things in perspective. Like this is like, I mean, maybe you lived like 130, that's realistic, but that's kind of, it's still like there's a finite number of stuff. You're gonna run out eventually.
I feel like I'd just be like really anxious. I'd be like, fuck, I'm running out of time. Fuck. And just keep freaking out.
I mean,
Yeah.
decently good though, like you said, put it in perspective. At least that way, you know what I mean. Make sure you're living. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it freaks you out, but the thing is, it's undeniably the truth. So, like,
yeah, for sure.
So I feel like it's important to kind of always
I'm
keep
definitely
that.
being a pussy when I'm saying that. It's just I'd rather just ignore it and be like, what's the chart like today?
It's also really depressing when you see like the amount of years that you've spent on like high schools and failed educations and whatnot. It's like
man. Yeah, my girl's going through it. She's got a bunch of debt from student loans and stuff, and she didn't end up liking the course and anything, but she still got to pay that money. You know what I mean? And she's like 12K in the hole. So.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, especially like when they make you choose like literally off like you spend your whole life like asking permission to go to the toilet, and then they're like, and now you have to make like the most important decision in your life, and then you're going to be in debt for it.
Like what the fuck?
This shit?
100%. Okay, Alexei for president. Come over, or prime minister. Come to Canada. I'll vote for you.
I'll need a front man because I'm not born anywhere, so I'm gonna have to. I think the only place I can be president is Russia, and I'm not sure that they'll look too kindly on Yeah. Actually, Russia though has free education for everyone, so almost free. Some of it's paid, but largely free.
I know there's a couple of places are, because I know America's not one of them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
Sure. With I guess the projects or some of the plans, and you kind of mentioned it beforehand. Won't talk about it too much in case it was accident. But what are some of the things for the future? I guess that people holders have right now that
when spiders. When spiders.
And what is spiders for people who don't know what spiders are?
Okay, well, basically, since this project, we kind of like originally this project we were just planning on making like a couple of releases. Like we make the skeletons, then we make the pet skellies, which are like cats, dogs, stuff like that. We're going to be dropping them to like active community members. They have like a Discord role, so you can earn that and grab it. And then we were going to do like these mechs, which I'm really excited about.
What?
And we thought, yeah, you haven't seen the sneak peeks? Have a look at the sneak peeks, man.
Is it on the Twitter?
Oh my god.
No, it's on the Discord.
Oh,
it's on the Discord.
okay.
Snake Peeks.
I'm going.
It's like
So,
one
yeah,
of the
but
most
that-
exciting things, man.
But then people started talking about the staking that lots of projects are implementing, and I'm like, that sounds like a pretty good deal. And especially the first couple of days were going really, the rollies are going really well. So I'm like, well, we don't need this much money. Let's just give it back and encourage people to hodl and whatnot. But yeah, so we started developing that. We decided to make it like an island where you send your skellies to stake it. But I figured we're not going to risk like people's actual skellies for that. We should probably drop them something disposable. And initially it was just going to be like a drawing of a skull or something, just very cheap. But then Maria said, well, hey, we have this spider. And I'm like, well, I guess the spider's kind of done, so let's just send that. But wait, we should probably put a kind of skulls on it to make it look a bit more themed. And we added some skulls, and then I'm like, well, we should probably add some colors as well, make it a bit more exciting. And then we shared it, and people really liked it. And we're like, well, looks like we're gonna have to make a couple of more of these. And then we decided to make some rare ones, and basically it all evolved into what we have now. So we're working on dropping them. Yeah.
I know some people are excited just because I can tell Money's excited. He was we were talking about beforehand, just enjoying. He's like, man, I'm hyped about it. Just y'all coming on, because I mean, again, like I said, I'm kind of newer earlier, but like I appreciate, like, again, I don't know, you could be like you said, been doing 15 years. It could take you maybe 10 minutes, to do something like that. But I appreciate the artwork because I'm sure it takes a lot longer. And again, it's nothing wrong with the pixels or the 2Ds, but it's what I mean. It's appreciate the work, you know what I mean. So and it looks good. So
Bro, this
thanks,
plush
man.
fight league looks crazy.
You know how to
I'm gonna be able
put
to
it on the
fight as
screen?
my dude. I can't believe it.
Share it on the Discord if you know how to, so the viewers can see it.
It's on their Discord, and it's under
I guess maybe you might
sneak
not be able to.
peeks. I don't know if here I'll send it to you, Mr. Gaddis. You might have to
Yeah, depending if it's
verify.
in y'all's Discord right now, just because we're doing it on here, I know I'll get out everyone's
The Macs look nuts
stuff.
too. Oh my god.
So is there a
Every time
date?
I look at your guys' Discord, I get super bullish. I love this fucking
Mission
project.
accomplished, man. That's fucking awesome.
Crazy.
No, that's actually pretty dope on that. So how many the 3D little goggles and eyes? How many people do you have on y'all's team? Like who thought of it, and was it hard to get everyone together, or I guess how?
Well, me and Maria, we've been working together for years. So we've
Nice,
been
okay.
doing like, client projects, we've been doing animation. So, and we have like freelancers that we outsource to. So we're pretty well set on that kind of, and we've been working remotely for, forever. So we're kind of organized that way.
Nice.
My partner who did the dev and the marketing, he basically just found my art and he was like, this is cool shit. And he bought one of my pieces of foundation and he's like, you want to make some money? And I'm like, I like money. So, yeah, then we kind of talked and came up with these ideas. And I really wasn't expecting, like, honestly, I love this community that we have now. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't really think it would be this great. Like, I love making stuff for people who actually care.
Yeah.
And who, like, it's so great that, because before, like, my artwork was basically used as like a prostitution kind of thing, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
used to sell other people's stuff. And like, so the people who like, they're like, this is cool artwork. And then they're like, buy this sneaker. And then, so that it kind of felt like disjointed. Like the people who were like attracted by this, they would be spending money on something else. Whereas
Mhm.
now it's kind of a direct kind of, you like my art, here it is, and
There's
then
no
it'll go
world.
up in price and you can get rich. And it's just such a nice kind of balance of everything. Like it's.
Okay, well, I just want
Yeah.
to
So
say publicly that I can't wait to fight Sass on Bone Island. If you can have like some sort of ring where me and Sass can have a tournament and our skellies can fight, that would be amazing.
I will tell the plush fight people that they should have an island that you can fight on.
There you go. What
Yeah, see, yeah, that's another thing that's how like the integration works in this NFT world. It's projects just want to work together, and I love that. Like it's
I always wonder what
such
they
a.
look like with legs, and I love them.
I think they'll be we'll be making different shapes. These are just like just kind of their body they already have, but maybe we'll have various options.
Interesting.
what got, I guess, you or y'all into the crypto scene? Was it like NFTs, or you kind of was interested in beforehand? I guess what got y'all into crypto, and then what was that
Well,
transition to the
honestly,
NFTs?
I'm kind of like I'm a historically, like I love history, I love economics, and most of what I've read about in my life has been against crypto. Like crypto didn't make sense. I thought it's impossible to hold a currency without having firepower behind it, because you need an army to maintain it, to prevent people from counterfeiting it. Like if in India they had that problem where Pakistan just like printed a ton of fake Indian rupees, and they had to like nullify like half their current like cash that they had in the country.
I didn't know that. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so there's a lot of problems with currencies. But so for me in the beginning, cryptocurrency seemed kind of like that it was going to flop. Like it didn't seem like something long term, but obviously I was very wrong. And yay, crypto. No, I'm kind of like, the more I get into it, the more I'm kind of in love with the whole concept of everything in here. Like it's such an amazing, like basically like the whole idea of blockchain is we've figured out how to convert electricity into trust. And
Yeah.
that's mind blowing. Like that's
Mm.
like we figured out how to manufacture trust on like this distributed system. And that's something that humans have never done before. Like before, trust was always because there was someone bigger with with an ability to hurt you, which made sure that people like behaved themselves and followed through on their promises. And here it's next step stuff, like next level, like evolution wise, it's nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I started getting into NFTs basically like 2 years ago, somewhere around there. Like when Beeple started publishing his stuff and like the motion graphics industry started getting in,
Mm-hmm.
I started looking into it. That was interesting. And then I started reading up more about the blockchain to figure out how it all works. And yeah, and then eventually, Tengai Collectible, when my partner offered to, help out with the, what's the word? Logistics. Yeah.
Right. That's actually how I got into NFTs initially as well. Beeple was my
Yeah, Beeple.
introduction.
he definitely put that on the map because even people that didn't know what the heck crypto was like, wait, come again? You know what I mean? So shout out to him, a hundo.
Yeah.
I mean, also, I mean, he was doing what it, as far as I know, he's never been on the show or nothing, but he's doing what he's loved and the passion. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of
Yeah,
it. Kind
yeah.
of like you said beforehand, like you wanted to make something. You know what I mean? Everything like that. Um, Boom. See if you got it. Okay, there you go.
I'm trying to pull up the max. Where'd they go? The max are right here, up here. There. Look at this.
There you go.
That looks crazy. And the Spideys? Look at the Spideys. Where they're there.
So on that picture, what and sorry, I cut off my other train of thought because I'm looking at a whole nother world of coding. Is that what program do you use on that, and like how is that what you first started on?
No, what you see there, that was just basically shader nodes for making materials. So that's not really coding. It's just making things combine based on like different, like you use a black and white map to map like the white stuff will be this, the black stuff will be this, and it's generated by stuff like proximity to other meshes or by noise or whatever it is. And that controls the way the material, if it has a rough reflection or a smooth reflection, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's Cinema 4D. That's basically what I've been using for most of my professional career. But I actually started with this program called Rhino 3D, which is a CAD program, which is not designed for making characters. It's designed for making like industrial products, but it's the only thing I had when I started because it came with a magazine. So after like a year of like dicking around in that, I finally found like polygon modeling and stuff, which is way more character friendly. And I'm like, wow, I wish someone told me about this earlier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the learning curve on that? Did it take you like years to learn how to do this stuff?
Yeah, well, the thing is, where I was born in Russia, but my parents took me to Australia, and I got there when I was like 13, and they sent me to school without girls, so I had like lots of free time all of a sudden, and basically, that's when I learned, this stuff. I was just, that's kind of suddenly I just learned to do this, and yeah, it's definitely like a learning curve, but I really found it fun. Like it wasn't like I didn't have to force myself. I was just playing with it. I was making stuff. And it was also exciting back then because like social media wasn't really a thing. So when I posted this on DeviantArt and I got like 6 likes and like a couple of comments from people which said this is great, it was just amazing. I was like, these are just like random people from the world who think what I made is cool. Like now everyone's just used to having like hundreds of likes. Back then it was like 7 favorites and you're like, fuck yeah.
I'm famous.
Yeah, I remember once I got like featured and I got 100 and I was like, oh my god.
Mind blown up.
Yeah, that was just insane. It was just so.
What is that? What is that feeling like when because there's only been a couple that we've had on the show so far that projects have been like minted like already. Some of these have been beforehand. As an artist and like it's just a person. One, was this your first mint like in general, and two, like what is that feeling like personally? You know what I mean? Is it?
It's great. It feels like a lot of pressure sometimes, like it because you have all these people that are really excited and they're expecting stuff, and you feel like you have to deliver like all the time because it's I don't know. It's I love seeing them happy,
Oh, 100%.
so but sometimes I have to remind myself that I got to maintain like some kind of level of relaxation because long term like you can't sustain it. Like even when I'm working like professionally, I know that I can do like 12 or 14-hour days like for maybe 7 days, but after that the productivity just plummets. Like after that, even if you're doing the same 16-hour days, you're producing like 3 hours of work at top. So really like you got to limit yourself to like I think 4 to 6 hours is like the optimal per day. After that, your productivity just kind of tanks like over a long range. It's just, you can't maintain it. Like even if you look at people who work in offices, usually they don't really do that much active work while they're there because it's just, human brain is, well, at least my brain is limited,
Sometimes we need them breaks.
Yeah, definitely.
After like the first 2 weeks where we were just going at it pretty much, like I don't know how many hours Alexi put in, but I'm pretty sure it was probably 60 plus in the week. I'm pretty sure. And
I was just 24/7. Yeah.
I know he was barely sleeping like 4 hours. or
Yeah.
less sometimes.
Yeah, it
So
was
like,
like literally 4 hours because you can't like one like for me it wasn't like as in I was forcing myself to be awake. It's just like I would be tired, I would pass out, and then like I'd wake up because I want to go to the toilet or I'm thirsty, and my brain's not going back to sleep because it's like, oh, I have this idea and we should do this and we should see what's happening on Discord, and it's just like there's that's it. You're not going back to sleep after that.
Yeah.
It's-
Does the mind slow down a little bit after the minting, or does it still keep going and going?
Well, the first 2 weeks were like that basically. Like after the mint, that was like the most intense. But now it's kind of I'm getting like 8 hours of sleep now, I think. So it's
Okay.
pretty solid. That's
That's good.
but still, like I have to like while I'm eating, I have to be like, now I'm not going to think about Bone World. I'm just going to think about this food. This is nice food. I'm not going to
is
think
good,
about Discord
yum.
or answering shit. I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah, yum, burger,
We're
nice.
fighters.
Yeah.
Nice. What we're getting we're kind of at the 30-minute mark, so I won't hold y'all too long because like I said, we don't have it like right around 30 minutes. So I'm not gonna hold y'all hostage
Sure.
or nothing like that.
No worries.
What are I guess some long-term goals I guess y'all want to have for the project? And
Well,
yeah, where do you want to see yourself in 4 or 5 months?
honestly, well, maybe not 4 or 5 months, but I'm thinking more longer term. I want to figure out, although maybe in this world it is 4 to 5 months, who knows? Uh, I want to figure out this SEC thing that they have with the securities because apparently, like, they haven't had digital backed securities yet, and I feel well somebody's got to be first.
Yep.
So why not us? That seems like a good thing to spend money on because, like, I was because like we have this. It's a relatively small war chest. It's not like we're millionaires or anything. We didn't keep all of it because there was a lot of people involved in the launch and whatnot. But I figure influencers seem like a waste of money. They seem to be mostly fakes. They don't bring anything in. And I'm thinking the best way to build value is to actually use the project to do something useful for everyone. And this way it'll be like I'll probably I want to collaborate with other projects who are interested in this. I want to figure out how to do proper digital backed securities so that we can do this so that people can start these NFTs to raise money for whatever it is they're planning, whether it's charities or projects or if it's like Kickstarter type stuff, because I think it's a great method of raising money for any kind of project you want to start. It's so much more fun, like especially like now that we see like with Robinhood that people are investing and using Kickstarter for things that are fun, and having these NFTs as like your investment that if you change your mind you can sell it to someone else who still cares about it. I think that's going to be like very revolutionary to the way we build businesses on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give artists a ton of work, which is I'm always for. Like, yeah, so that's kind of where I think where the future of this project is going is figuring out how it works. And also, like I was talking to this lawyer/accountant about corporations and like incorporating as a business, and he said like the biggest problem right now with what these NFT projects do is that they sell a digital product for a digital currency, and they're not really sure how that works. Because if like most of the companies that are crypto companies right now, they're exchanges, so they exchange a cryptocurrency for fiat, which can easily be invoiced and tracked by the government and taxed because you have that kind of point. But here, when both of those things are digital and massively fluctuating, it's like, how do you decide how much money you earned this year? How do you decide what your taxes should be and all this stuff? So this is all stuff that has to be figured out with legal cases, with, like it's not like getting sued, but it's like, going through courts so that people decide how this should be managed. So that also sounds like a interesting and fun thing to kind of do for the whole ecosystem. It's,
That'd be fresh.
yeah, so.
I like
Yes,
it because it's pioneering, man. It's really
exactly
it's
like that's
you're just going the first ones in. Fuck it, whatever happens.
yeah,
happens.
like like I've never really thought of being a person who like I want to be remembered for something, but since I'm here and this is clearly the forefront of stuff, why not figure this stuff out? And if it helps all my collectors, build value on their skellies, that's kind of mission accomplished. That's
the overall goal. Last question. I mean, to the artists, new projects, and everything that are thinking about trying to start or wanting to start. I mean, what would you tell them? You know what I mean? Just
partner up. I think that's the most important thing. Find people who are good at what they do and collaborate. Because this stuff is complex and you can't handle all of it. You need a team. You need people to work with. You need people you can trust. So always try to figure that out. Like build your team. And maybe you'll get fucked over, but you'll have more experience on who not to work with. That's valuable in anything you start doing. And Like a lot of artists try to do everything themselves, and not only in like business or starting an NFT collection. It's just a lot of artists think they have to draw and they have to shade and they have to figure out the concepts and they have to do the 3D and the animation stuff. But that's not the case. You just have to find the thing you're good at. If you're good at lighting, do lighting. Find someone who does the modeling. If you're good at designing characters, find someone who will make them into 3D. Try to work with people who really love something they do and do the thing that you love, because you're going to be competing with people who love what they do, no matter where you go in like this kind of art related world, and they're going to do it faster, better, and probably cheaper than you are, because they enjoy it. So
Right.
find things that you'll do for free. Don't do them for free. Definitely, charge money for it.
You are
But if you
worth
find
it.
it like, yeah, exactly. But you gotta find stuff that you can compete with, because you can't compete with someone who really loves what they do, because they're just like thinking 24/7, and you have to figure, like, I can't compete with people who love to code. Like, I find it interesting, but every time I have to like force myself, if I'm learning to code or if I'm trying to figure shit out, it's like an effort. Some people just breathe it and want to do it, and find those people and work with them, like collaborate with them, build a team with them. I think that's the most important thing.
That's something I really love about this space, that pretty much most people involved, or a lot of the people involved, are passionate about what they're doing. There's a lot
Definitely.
of passion in this space. And I love
That's all
that.
we've ever had. We've had that little NFT marathon run here on this show, and I think you guys are going to be like the last ones or second last ones. But we've interviewed like 10 different projects, and they all say the same thing. It's just every single dev in this space, well, most like 99% of devs in this space are really like, good natured, and they want to help, and they'll do it for free usually for the most part, and everyone tips each other at the end of the day, right? But like they're saying like it's a really healthy and thriving ecosystem because of that, because everyone's really willing to work together and get stuff done.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah, that has been
Definitely.
the main thing. Maybe not the main thing, but a thing that people have said. The community in Solana in general has everyone's very helpful. So that's always awesome. But on that note, you got any last, I guess, questions, concerns, anything you want to let the community know? Anything on that?
Love you all. I don't know. You guys are great. Thank
Yeah.
you for being my community.
Awesome. Well,
One thing I
yes.
want to bring up just before we go, we do have a potential airdrop candidate for you guys. I know I showed you this, Alexi, a couple of days or a couple of weeks ago, last week or so. It was the derivative with the thug bird on it. You remember seeing that one?
Oh yeah, there was something about that. We might have to also improve that one.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's something we want to show you guys in the future as
Yeah,
a
hell
future
yeah.
potential airdrop.
Hype, let's go.
I'm down with that one. On that note, I'm gonna mute up for myself for a quick second. So if you want to stop and I guess chill for a quick second. But if you're not, everyone who's listening in, go ahead, hit a follow on the Twitter, boneworld_soul. Hop in their Discord, take a look to see what's going on, and show them some love. So on that note, everyone, stay fresh, stay clean, stay positive. As always, stay smiling, and thank y'all for coming in and showing some love.